You know, one day I'll get my life together. I really thought I had my life together. Now I don't believe I do anymore. All because of this.
Like it?
I dig it.
It's a little something. Hope we don't get sued.
Look at
We'll
that.
work on that. Yeah, a little something light.
I like it a lot. I still don't have my life together.
Is this what episode is this?
Is this the Peyton Manning episode, the long-awaited?
This is the actual Peyton Manning episode.
Gosh, let's hope it's the Super Bowl years, not the choking years.
Yeah, we can do whatever. But what's good? What's going on, bro? What's good?
Long week, but good week. We're done with star testing. I have
nice.
I did score. I had a goal and assist and a yellow card. So I had the Ben Morgan hat trick last week.
Got it.
So, but have you ever? We played. It's just men's soccer, and this was quite frankly the worst call ever. We were all stunned by it. It was so bad that we just kind of shrugged it off, like whatever. They cross it into the box. The defender next to me is right there. It's going to go past him. Okay. He reaches up and he slaps it like a volleyball. Out of bounds, and they call it corner kick. And we're like, that's a handball, right? Like that's a penalty kick. And we're all like waiting for him to call it. And he's like, corner. We're like, you're kidding, right? And we all just kind of like look around confused, and we look at the other referee and he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, how did we miss this? Like, this was so blatant.
You just think, did he not actually know the game? Or was he
The ref was
just
great. The ref was great other than this. And the guy playing, they've played before. Like, we've played them last season twice. And so, like, it was just like a weird...
handballed it.
Yeah, he just full-on volleyball slaps it out of bounds. And we're like, penalty?
Yeah, like, hey, Brody, you can't do that. That's bullcrap.
It is. And then the other guy on the team was like, they're not going to call that? I was like, I guess not. But I don't know. I guess it was so blatant and so bad and so shocking that the ref, it broke his brain or something. I don't know. That's the only thought.
I'm curious. I have. How'd you get the yellow card?
A guy grabbed me, so I pushed him off. And then we started pushing each other a little bit. And then we were like, what the heck, man? And he was like, what the heck, man?
Yeah.
I'm like, you grabbed me. He's like, you grabbed me. I'm like, yeah, it's true. And we both got yellows. And then I was like, all right, cool. That was it. Nothing major.
It's fun.
Just a pretty standard one. I'm good for a yellow card 4 times a year.
There you go.
Yeah. I used to get them every game one season just for fun, just to annoy people. And then the guy I'm playing with told me I had to get a goal for every yellow card. So then I'm like, fine. So now I got to do that.
Do they count them in your league too? They like tally them up?
Nah, it's only the Reds.
Like tax for Draymond or something like that. Like you eventually lose and you get to sit out a half a game.
I never get that many. Like they do that in the pro leagues. If you get like X number per season, you're suspended a game for yellow card accumulation. But in the men's games, like we were only paying $70 a season. The refs are getting $20 a game. They're not keeping track of yellows. Reds,
right?
They'll keep track of Reds, but yeah, they're not
on contract or anything.
Nah.
Worst calls. You were telling me to think about some worst calls. I thought it too. I thought the worst call probably of all time was probably Dez the catch, which at the time was probably the right call, but luckily they changed that rule. And then the second, which would be a good segue for us, was I bet many people don't remember this play. There was a block called on LeBron. It was KD coming into the lane. Game 1, 2018 finals, where he had like the 50-piece.
Mm-hmm.
There was like some kind of weird timing to where they like weren't supposed to be able to review the play, but they did review the play. KD gets 2 shots. That's the play before they go down and have the J.R. Smith blunder.
Oh, wow.
So if it wasn't for that, they would have been up by, I think, 3 and essentially would have been able to close the game out.
Dang.
Worst call I've ever seen. But
the Dez catch one annoys me. Sorry, can I say one thing about the football move?
Absolutely.
You're like, he makes a play, he makes 2 steps in a football move, and I'm always confused because I'm like, catching the football is a uniquely football move. I never quite understood what they were talking about. Football move. Like, while you're running is a football move. It is the epitome of a football move. Okay, sorry. Segue into basketball.
Yeah, that'll still go down as one of the weirdest plays of all time and probably change the trajectory of his career.
Mm-hmm. And Romo's.
And Romo as well.
Yeah. Romo wins that game. Now, like, if we're doing a little revisionist history, because I think if I remember right, there was still 4 minutes left in the game, and there's no way that the Dallas defense was stopping Aaron Rodgers. Right. So I don't think, in my deepest heart of hearts, the Cowboys still lose that game. But yeah,
it is what it is. One play didn't make the whole game.
I am repping the Romo today.
Yeah, see that? That thing, it looks like it's been through a couple wash cycles.
Yeah, so at our local Tom Thumb on game day, you get 10% off if you wear a jersey, and I saw it on sale at a garage sale for $10, and it's paid for itself a few times over.
Did you?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
It's even got the little blue, the double strip on the arm, and the Reebok. Let's go, boy!
I think it's authentic.
Throwback for real. That's like Romo when he was third string. You know, just kind of getting started. I had a buddy who was big on him, like back then, whenever he was like just getting a little playing time in the preseason. He was like, this Roma guy is going to be the next thing.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, we'll see. He called it.
That was a great call.
Shout out Taylor Neal, my boy.
What's up, Tay?
Tay. Back to the playoffs. We don't have to hit on every game. We'll comment on some of the games, but most importantly, Mavs-Clippers 2-2.
Dang.
Man, what an up and down series so far.
It seems like whenever the Clippers win, they're like punking the Mavericks. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of bully ball.
It's kind of, and then like they can't miss shots. And it's the most amazing thing where it's like the Mavs will miss wide open shots and the Clippers will hit all their shots. I don't know what you're seeing, if you're seeing the same thing or.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall that's right. I think my notes have been, if it gets over 100 points, we're going to lose. Obviously, that's just the way the scores have worked out. I think the most interesting piece to me has been the Kawhi Leonard back and forth.
Yeah.
When he came back in game 2, it looked like the Clippers' flow was just off. They looked so good game 1. And then they kind of got that back in game 4 with Kawhi out. And it's not like he's a bad player, but he was just not at 100%. And they were trying to like force him back in there. But yeah, that's one thing I'm seeing. And then I hate to jump ahead so quickly, but the piece I think the Mavs, one piece they're missing is Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, he needs to hit some shots, man, because they're missing the three.
He's got 6 points the whole series.
He's been like that all year, though. Very streaky, but I mean, like we need him to hit because he has a game in him where he hits 5 threes, 6 threes.
Right.
It's like they started off, the Clippers were 8 of 11, and the Mavs were 0 of 10 at one point. And I'm like, there's no freaking way, this is the last game I'm talking about, game 4.
Game 4.
That they're going to keep up, 70, 80%, well, a little less than 8, so like 78% from the three, while the Mavs at 0. But right. And then the game ends, I think the Clips won by 5 officially. Yeah, by 5. But if you put that back to just like shooting 30%, and the Mavs are still in the game. Or if the Clippers shoot 50% instead of 70%, the Mavs are still in the game. So yeah, you need someone to hit a dang shot to where you're not getting down by 31, which is still the most. If the Mavs had pulled that off, that was one of the most insane games, because the Clippers in the first half, it was unbelievable. They were hitting contested shot after contested shot. Terrence Mann and Norman Powell had open shots, which is fine. But Paul George was hitting everything. James Harden was hitting everything.
I will say this. I agree with you 100%. And the thing with they say it's a miss and make league. The 3-pointers, the differential in the made 3-pointers is almost like the score of a lot of these playoff games.
Yeah.
Which is wild. If they make 5 more threes, they probably win by 5 points.
Yeah.
The fact that I tuned back in, and I think it was about 8 minutes left in the fourth, and it was tied. And the Mavs had like 10 3-pointers at that time. And whatever, the Clippers had like 23. But that shot in the corner for PG, the second he hit it, I said, he just saved the whole series. Mm-hmm. Like there was still a couple minutes left in the game. Or maybe there was like a minute and a half left. But when he freaking spanked that thing, I was like, he just saved the series for the Clippers. Like he doesn't make that shot, they're going to lose the game. And we're talking about closeout game tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. So there's two times in the game I went, oh! It was the Kyrie between 3 defenders, triple clutch. Backspin for the Mavs, and then the Mavs take the lead. You know, they were down 31. What's weird is I never thought the Mavs were out of it just based on the shooting. I'm like, man, if the shooting evens out, because it'll even out, like it just, then I think they'll be back in the game. Obviously, when you're down 31, you don't think you're going to win it, but I'm like, they can get back in it. And so the Mavs take the lead, and I'm like, we got them. And then you make them take a horrible shot. You play defense so well, and PJ Washington has them in the corner. Arms outstretched. The block is on. When he releases the ball, he might be behind the basket. That's what JJ Redick was saying. It's hard to tell, honestly, from the replay. And he just buries it. And it's like, all right.
Oh, I did hear him say that during the game, that he may be behind the backboard. The other, one of the frustrating points in that fourth quarter as well was the fact, James Harden, like they kept leaving the lanes just wide open. Mm-hmm. He went down and hit that little floater. He probably did that like 4 or 5 possessions in a row.
Yeah, he hit 6 floaters. I read in that game, and he only hit 11 in the whole regular season. What happened was they kept Maxey in and didn't put Gafford back in.
Yeah, so that was the big guys, which I don't know what that was, keeping it small on offense.
Well, what the kid was saying basically was he was okay giving up the 2 instead of the 3 because they were trying to come back. But at the point where they'd actually come back all the way, then the 2s really do matter.
Right.
And so it's like, okay.
With your 2-minute offense, almost, or your 2 minutes left, go back to your starting lineup, essentially.
I would have put Gafford back in, but hindsight's 2020. If they'd won the game, then you're like, what a genius move by keeping Maxey in, but they didn't. But yeah, because like there were several plays where he just beats the man, little floater, 6 times. 6 freaking times.
And Luka was in foul trouble essentially the whole game. Yeah. I watched the first quarter, and then I watched the fourth quarter because I left to go get a workout. I was like, we're getting smacked unless we're getting, I was like, I'm going to go get a pump. This game's over. But glad I caught the end.
I had to teach my kids watched it with me this time. I was in the garage where I am now. I have the TV right behind the computer right now. And so during nap time, I'm watching basketball. And they wake up and they come in. And my 1-year-old's like, basketball. And I'm like, buddy, we're down by 30. You need to shut up. No.
Hey, that's enough.
Basketball. And a commercial like, no basketball? I'm like, well, this is why they're paid so much, buddy. It's called a commercial break. He's like, what?
Let me tell you about advertising.
Oh, he's like, what is this? And I'm like, I know, buddy. It's confusing. But you got basketball down. You'll get ads here in a minute. The one thing I will say, it seems like both like normal games where the Mavs shot well and both teams kind of played well, the Mavs won both of those. Now, what's interesting, like you said, both games, did Kawhi play game 1? No, he did not.
No. He played game 2 and 3 only. Yeah,
we won both the games with Kawhi in, and it seems like they're really great shooting games the Clippers had were without Kawhi, which was interesting.
It seems to flow better without him.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's just his injury or whatnot. But yeah, they scored with Kawhi. They scored 90 and 93. Without Kawhi, they scored 109 and 116. They also defended us. It's a push on defense. But yeah, I don't know. The one thing I do like is this daggone. Can you hear this fly around my head?
No.
There's a fly like buzzing around my head. He's driving me insane. So if I just kind of like do that out of nowhere, that's what that is.
I kept seeing you look around. I was like, somebody walking in the door.
You're like coming in front of my face. So I'm like,
Mr. Miyagi, that thing.
I like the return of Westbrook. Game 3, he was a total jerk, and that was funny. But I love Washington, Gafford, and Derrick Jones. These are like freaking dogs, and I love them. Because Westbrook comes at Washington, and Washington just laughing. He's like, okay, little buddy. And then Morris on the bench is always ready for a fight. So, like,
oh, man.
This is a team that's actually got some toughness and some daggone people that are like, let's go, baby. Come on, let's do a fight. So I don't think the Mavs teams in the past have had that. Squad. Yeah, if we can get through this, I still think whoever wins this round wins this next round, but it's going to be tight.
Yeah. The thing I'm looking forward to is the last couple of years. This has been the point in the series when Harden disappears. Game 5, game 6. And so if we can get game 5 on their court, I think we can get game 6. If there's game 7, we should live stream it.
Oh, let's do that.
I think it's Sunday. So
yeah, this is going to be a real Dallas-centric next week for me because we have hockey and basketball Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So I'm actually going to introduce my boys to hockey tomorrow night since it's a 6:30 puck drop instead of 9:30, which has been ridiculous. So I'm excited to show the boys some hockey too. So what about the other games? The other games we had the Lakers.
Yeah, I've missed.
But you had them winning it all.
It is what it is. It's a gentleman's sweep. Golly, man. I will say this though. Lakers in 9. No, they were in it. I mean, they were in it, but they're not the better team. The Nuggets are the better team, 100%. I was delusional, and it is over. I think it's over for LeBron.
You think so?
I think it's done. I don't know if we'll see. The crazy part is he's still so good though, and he's not carrying the team, but
he's a big part of it.
Top 2. Yeah. To be that old and still be in that role is insane.
So you think he's retiring, or you think he's just moving on from LA?
I don't think he's going to retire. I don't think he leaves LA. I can't envision him playing somewhere else. I don't know. I have no clue. If I had to guess, I bet they run it back next year with a different coach. And supposedly some superstars going there this summer. I don't know who that is.
It's just rumors.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I could also see them in the exact same position next year and losing in the second round to the Nuggets again as they three-peat.
Another one.
I'm wondering, like, from his perspective, what's going to keep him up at night more? These last 2 years with the Nuggets or the KD Warriors years where he just had no chance?
It's not like he had no chance. He had the most expensive teams in history those years. But yeah, I mean, the Warriors were just so good.
Yeah, but you got video game Warriors.
That's true. The Nuggets, sorry, not the Nuggets, the Lakers next year, big problem with them is Anthony Davis goes from $43 million to $60 million.
Nice.
So
that's a good raise.
That's pretty good. I'd love that raise. They lose D'Angelo Russell. I don't think he's under contract next year. Oh, no, wait. Hang on. I'm looking at the wrong.
D'Lo's got a player option.
For next year? Because it's 23-24. Yeah, so I'm looking at, so 24-25, LeBron has a player option for $51 million. Anthony Davis has a player option for $43 million. D'Lo's still under contract. Hachimura is still under contract. Reeves is still under contract. Vincent, Vanderbilt, Christian Wood has a player option. There's a lot of people with player options, but this team just doesn't look very. It's just missing pieces. It's not cohesive at all. Like they're a playing team, Like they are who they are.
They're a playing team, 100%. I think that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be shocked if they literally ran it back and maybe made one or two little more changes, and then maybe they get JJ Redick as their head coach.
Okay,
I don't know what they're going to do about the coach because
LeBron keeps on getting.
I would hate to coach LeBron
because he runs. It's okay. So here's the deal with LeBron. It's the same thing every time. He comes in He trades the whole squad, gets his guys in. He gets the coach out, gets his guy in. Burns it all down, wins you a championship. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
And then leaves it just in a total heap of mess. And then always the coach wasn't good enough. Well, the coach was handpicked. All the players weren't good enough. That's the GM. You're the GM. Every player you want, you get. So
I will say this though. This is where the Lakers failed. Okay. Mm-hmm. First year LeBron gets there, they're ass.
That was a young team that was actually okay. They should have kept that team together.
It was okay, but the trade for AD didn't come in the season like they wanted it to. Mm-hmm. It came after the season. Luke Walton gets fired. LeBron told them, I want you to hire Ty Lue. They only offered Ty Lue 3 years because that equaled LeBron's contract. But where you screw up is now LeBron, the rest of his tenure there, says, you didn't give me the coach I wanted back then.
What did he get from the Clippers? Did the Clippers give him more money or more time?
Clippers gave him a 5-year deal. That's what he wanted. He wanted a 5-year deal with LA, at least.
Well, they were going to fire him after LeBron leaves anyway.
Yeah. It's like, hey, LeBron was probably going to be there longer than 3 years. That was the one. If I owned the team, I'd have said, all right, let's get Ty Lue in here. Give him a 5-year deal. Maybe we fire him at 3 or 4, but at least our guy is happy. But they still won a championship with Frank Vogel. So
yeah, hard to argue with there.
But not spending too much time on that. The other series, the Wolves sweep the Suns.
Gosh.
Thunder sweep the Pelicans.
Gosh.
The Lakers, of course, got beat by the Nuggets. I'm not even going to talk about the Celtics Heat. I don't care about that. I just don't care about that series at all.
Okay, did you see the Charles Barkley thing about Galveston and the?
Oh, 100%.
Let me play it. I looked up fair use. I'm sure I can do this.
Let's play it because I thought it was hilarious.
That dirty ass water. We're not even gonna send them to Cancun. We're gonna send them to Galveston with that dirty ass water be washing up on the shore. You people think they're in the beach.
Now, let me tell you about Galveston.
So I was. Now the sad part is he's 100% right about Galveston, that's what kills me. Is I'm like, dadgummit, he's right, and I was like, how does he freaking know about Galveston? And so then they tell the story of him going to on the Rockets. They took him. Let's go to the beach.
Take that thing off there.
I don't know how.
Wait a second.
There you go.
I just had an idea.
Yeah, I just had an idea. There we go. Brought to you by TNT.
I was trying to keep it under 15 seconds.
Yeah, I paused it, so it should be good.
Yeah, it should be good.
But yeah, I got that off of someone else's YouTube they probably got it, so I don't know.
Yeah, man, I don't know. The rules are stupid.
They are,
but it is what it is.
But yeah, the apparently when we play for the Rockets, might as well for the 6 months we have. But yeah, apparently when he was with the Rockets, they're like, let's go to the beach. He's like, yeah, sounds great. And he's like, what the hell is this beach?
No, what the hell is this?
We got sand, you got
I like
oil balls on this beach.
Did you see Jameis Winston talking about people that live near water?
No, what'd he say? Big fans of Jameis here.
You'll have to look it up later, but I think he was talking about Mike Evans in general. He was like, I play with Mike Evans over there in Tampa Bay, and people who grow up near water, they are tough. I don't know what it is. He's just like, there's something different about them. I think he was doing an interview. I can't remember who was doing.
Was he interviewing the fish there? Do you remember the fish interview where he's like, how you know fishy?
CBS Sports or whatever. Dude, that guy's a legend.
I love
Jameis. You're going to come on our show. He's going to be right after Marshawn Lynch. We'll have him on here. So
let's do it. I'll text him.
But the only other notes I had, which I think you're going to be right now about the Pacers.
Boom! Told you.
But you told me, but I had a caveat. I said if Giannis comes back and they're both, he's out. Him and Dame were both out. So
yeah, that's why I picked him. Is Giannis was going to be out
like that. Yeah, but Dame was also out. So he had a slightly torn Achilles or strained Achilles or something like that. Whatever they wrote
down. Did not look good when he hobbles off and once out at the end of the game. Usually he's loves the end of the game. So, yeah, I feel bad for Dame. I didn't think Giannis would be out the whole series, but it looks like he'll be out the whole series. I thought this would be about the outcome. I thought they'd be up 3-1 because it seemed like Giannis was going to be out weeks rather than just games. So I felt like he was going to be 3. So, yeah, that's why I picked the Pacers to win.
Say in Doc Rivers' voice, don't blame it on Giannis.
Don't blame it on Giannis. No way, that's horrible. Hang on. Don't blame it.
Don't blame it on Giannis.
Don't blame it on Giannis. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Giannis.
Now, let me tell you about Giannis. Oh, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
You're getting Charles Barkley mixed in there.
Did you see the
We're getting Charles Rivers.
Did you see where Lawrence Fishburne is playing?
Now, let me tell you about Doc Barkley.
Did you see the thing about did you see they're coming out of the series about the Lob City Clippers?
Oh, man.
Called Clip?
No, it's not about... It's about Donald Sterling.
Yes.
Which, it is what it is. That sucks. I watched the preview and I was like, I don't care what it's about. It kind of looked lame.
The thing that I really wanted to show more than anything was the fact that, let me get this picture up.
The actor playing Doc?
Yeah, so it's Lawrence Fishburne from The Matrix. Morpheus. But yeah, you can see that, but he don't look much like Doc to me.
That was what I was thinking. Like, I saw the preview, I was like, he doesn't really look like Doc, and it just seemed like the kind of like feel of the show and the personalities. I was like, this doesn't really align. And who's going to play Cliff Paul, So a lot of stuff.
I think Cliff Paul is going to play Chris Paul. That's what I think. Because they actually look pretty similar. So that's good.
Wrapping up the playoffs, and then if you want to talk about the legends, we can. But Knicks 76ers, looks like the Knicks are going to win. It's 3-1 right now.
Yeah, over.
Embiid, crazy, man. He had that like eyeball thing going on. He's got that sucks. It kind of was hard to watch him, but he still had a 50-burger. And I think it was game 3. And then he was still playing like a beast. Like, I watched the last 2 games, even though I said I wasn't going to watch any of the series. And I was like, man, this guy's coming back from like a torn meniscus. He's kind of looks sick. And then he's dealing with his issue or whatever. And he's still scoring 40, 50 points and making it look easy.
He's a baller.
He's a baller. I don't know what it is. Brunson's the man, though. I mean, Brunson had 47 the other night.
Jeez, and he had
47 burger.
He's hitting big shots. It don't matter that he's 6'1" or however tall he says he is. Still
6'1" in heels.
Mavs screwed that one up. That's for sure. But yeah,
he was gone no matter what.
I know. Well, they screwed up his rookie deal. That's the thing is they structured that wrong to where he became a free agent. That's the big one.
Got it.
But yeah, for me, this is like weird because KD gets swept. The Suns are screwed. They don't have their control of their own draft picks until 2030, until my kid is 10. So think about that. They gave up all their first rounders, those 4 with pick swaps. Because you can't give away more than X number in a row per the rules. And then, not until 2030 do they control their own draft picks. And Bradley Beal, I don't know who's the bigger, got more money out of less results, him or Tobias Harris. But he's a net negative. Booker can't play defense. And KD, that offense just doesn't look good. And, I thought they would beat the Wolves just because I don't trust Minnesota sports. But man, Anthony Edwards.
Ant turned it up. I'm telling you, their defense was great. They're a more complete team. It was a team versus 3, right? And the team won.
Was it Shaq said, "I'm sorry, brother, I didn't know your game." So that's my apology to Anthony Edwards.
Brother. I didn't know your game.
Jeez. But yeah, we're reaching the end of an era. So KD out, swept. LeBron, gentleman sweep. Steph, play in. And honestly, I mean, you think about Harden, Kawhi, Paul George, Westbrook, all on the brink. This good series could go either way. Right. If they get knocked down the first round, I mean, that's the that's the last 15 years of basketball.
Young guns left. OKC is an average of like 24 years old. Mm-hmm. The Wolves are young. Ant's 22.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Cat, overrated, but Ant.
Yeah. Ant's the man. And then, I mean, the Nuggets are not, they're like midway. They're like middle-aged for the NBA.
They're in their prime years, yeah.
Yeah, they're in their prime years. Jason Tatum, I think, is 25, 26. Luka's 25. It's the changing of the guard. The one, I think for LeBron, I don't see him making another title run.
Not as
I don't
guy.
see KD. I don't see KD doing it on the Suns. No. I still have a little hope. I think that the Warriors got one more left in them, but they got to make some big moves. They're gonna have to. I think they're gonna have to shake things up.
Yeah, they don't have.
Because Steph, year to year, I mean, he's still playing at a high level. That's the thing. Like Steph and LeBron are still. They're all three still playing at a high level, but they just can't carry a team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA is too competitive and they're too old, which that sucks, but it is what it is.
It's reality, man. Time is undefeated. Reality. Wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Sorry. What was I going to say? Oh, no, I already did that. Freaking Lawrence Fishburne in Lob City.
Let me tell you about Lawrence.
Let me tell you about Lawrence Fishburne.
Switching to NFL. We're getting a little NFL going now.
Hang on, let me try something here.
Okay. You got a fart?
I was thinking about it. I was trying to remember what the... Dun, dun, dun. The draft.
Trumpet time.
The draft.
Your trumpet's killer.
I know. I'm still going to make the album. I've started... I put a list together of like 20 songs I'm going to do with different things.
I'll produce it.
Preach. Much preach. NFL draft.
You gonna let me freestyle over a couple of the tracks?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hit it, Pearl.
We're definitely a collaboration here.
Collaboration.
You can't spell collaboration without Caleb. Maybe you can. But Caleb Williams went, I think there's an E in there I missed. But Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. And what was pretty much, since Justin Fields was traded, what everyone knew was going to go with. I only want to really hit on 3 points here, 3 things. Number 1, the Bears window opens now, and they have 5 years to win a Super Bowl. So I don't know if you saw, but freaking Micah Parsons has his own show competing against us.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. With him and CJ Stroud, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, this is weird player era where it was a rookie quarterback and, a rival, not a division rival, but like a rival.
State rival.
State and the guy on another team are like,
go Chargers.
If I play you, by the way, next week, I'm gonna try to kill you. But the rookie of the year last year in CJ Stroud and one of the best defenders in the NFL and Micah Parsons covered the draft. They did a really good job. Like they knew player contracts and things like that. But Micah said what I said, which is, the Caleb Williams and the Bears have a real chance to build a powerhouse franchise for the next 4 or 5 years until you have to pay the quarterback. Which is basically what I was saying with my Super Bowl thing a few episodes ago of if you ain't on the rookie deal and you're not the GOAT, you're probably not winning a Super Bowl or even really making it. So the Bears have about a 5-year window. Well, they do because that's how the rookie contract works.
Correct.
And they've already started. They got DJ Moore. They traded for Keenan Allen. At number 9, they drafted Rome Odunze?
Out of Washington?
Out of Washington, yes. So they've set him up to be successful. Now, they are in a tough division with the Packers, who are pretty good. The Vikings drafted a quarterback as well. And, of course, the Lions, who, were this close to going to the Super Bowl last year. But, they got their chance right now. They got 4-5 years to load up at every position while the quarterback is cheap. And then, then you got to start making choices. But they got veteran receivers. They got young receiver, too. They have a pretty good tight end in Kmet. I don't know what their O-line is like, but
do they still have Khalil Mack, or is he gone?
I want to say he's gone. Because I think they traded him to
Something makes me think he went to the Chargers.
He did.
He got traded. Okay.
Yes, and I think he was cut or something like that. But
I agree with what you got. I like your take there.
Yeah, so there was five $5. Here's my thought process too. So there's 5 quarterbacks that were drafted in the first round. The Bears took Caleb Williams. Washington took Jaden Daniels. Drake May went to New England. The Vikings took J.J. McCarthy. Penix, which is a very funny name to me.
Correct.
He went to Atlanta.
I have a comment on that later.
And the Broncos took Bo Nix. So those are the 3, 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks.
6.
Now Atlanta screwed up big time. So remember how we said the window, you have the rookie deal? Because they freaking signed Cousins to a 4-year deal, basically almost not all guaranteed, but basically all guaranteed, or a huge chunk of it. So by the time it's time for Penix to start, he's going to be in year 5 and his contract's over. So you've closed the window that the rookie deal opens up. So it makes no sense that you sign a guy to a huge contract. You have a prime draft pick. You could have gone receiver there because like Drake London's good. Kyle Pitts is good. Who's their third receiver? You could have done like a lot to help the offense out, and you really screwed that pick up in my opinion.
I agree and disagree at the same time. I agree it probably wasn't the best pick at that spot, but I don't hate it because I think Kirk Cousins has $100 million guaranteed. They can let him go in 2 years. And so you're going to pay $50 million a year for a good quarterback anyways. Do that for 2 years. People are saying Senior Mr. Penix is old. I'm like, he's 23 years old. He's going to be 25 in 2 years. He could start year 3. That's just a opposing view, but it was the weirdest pick I think I've ever seen. It was like drafting Eli Manning with Kurt Warner, but you would have paid Kurt Warner a max salary for 5 years just 2 weeks before the draft. It's like, what?
Yeah,
that makes sense whenever a guy's coming in to train, but he's on like a veteran deal.
Yeah, like that's the part that didn't make sense to me is you just signed this guy, surround the guy with talent. I don't think they're scared of competition, but it's like, bro. But yeah, for me,
it's weird.
Like, I don't think he's that. And like, this is one of my last point was the draft is stupid, but not the draft. Sorry, draft analysts are stupid. I don't think he's that great of a prospect that you needed to draft him now this year. Does that make sense? Like, you could have had another quarterback in 3 years if Cousins doesn't work out and you're picking top 10 again. I don't know.
Or even top 25. Like,
yeah.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
It's my thought of the Atlanta GM. Here's my question for you. Between Bears, Washington, New England, Minnesota, and the Broncos, because those starting quarterback, those rookies are most likely to start. Which one of those teams do you think will make a run in the playoffs the soonest? Like beyond the second round or beyond?
I think I'm going to take the Bears out of it just because I think they're probably number 1. Mm-hmm. And I think the other 5 are probably a little bit more questionable. The Bears are the most ready situation for a quarterback to hop into and be able to compete. I'm big on the McCarthy kid.
Yeah, Bears and Vikings.
I like the Vikings. And they're a couple years out of, they were 7-10 last year after Cousins got hurt. But a couple years before that, they were deep in the playoffs, right? Or they were at least...
They won their division and lost to the Giants in the wild card round 2 years ago.
Okay. But I don't think they're far off. They still have Justin Jefferson. I'm going to take them as number 2. I'm not big on. I think the Patriots are going to suck for another couple years. And then I don't know what to do about the Broncos. I don't know what Sean Payton's got up his sleeve. I wouldn't put something past him, but Yeah, I wasn't big on the Bo Nix pick. So
they're throwing darts. They traded for Zach Wilson, and they're just like throwing darts. Give me every quarterback you can.
Who's your pick?
I agree with you. I would say, as far as talent is concerned, JJ McCarthy goes in to the best situation because he has Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, at least for 1 year. I assume they're about to pay him. And TJ Hawkinson, the tight end. So he's got great pass catchers all around him. So that's better than the Bears pass catcher, in my opinion, by a little bit. And then right behind is the Bears. Now, the Bears, I think, might have a better defense, but
I think Caleb Williams is probably a little more talented. So
that's the question mark, because here's my problem. Yeah, here's my problem with draft analysis, and I got to say that slowly so I don't say something weird.
Analysis.
So the Cowboys. Guess what grade they got on the draft?
I would imagine they got a B-.
That's correct. Guess what other grade they got?
There's another one?
Yeah, there's several draft experts that gave them grades. Guess another grade they got.
They probably got a C+.
It's another one. B-, yeah, another one. Guess another one.
D?
Yep, that's another one. And they also got an A- from another draft expert.
Okay.
So they went the whole gauntlet. They got all an A- D. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I don't understand how any of that works. I mean, Todd McShay and those guys, they're like us. They need something to talk about.
They do, but yeah, they're like Jimmy Clausen's a Hall of Famer.
Projecting the draft, yeah, that's so annoying. It's like, yeah, the lead up, all the draft stuff. It's like, I prefer just seeing what happens.
Yeah.
And it's going to change in the moment.
And you just
before we get away from it, I want to give you my favorite picks, my favorite things from the draft.
What were your favorite?
I'll go backwards. I'll go 3, 2, 1. Number three, since you already you hit on it earlier, because of the Michael Penix Jr. pick, the amount of memes and references to his name, having my own name be Cox, I thought was hilarious. The amount of stuff that was out there, the pictures and stuff was, that was one of my favorite parts.
If one of your sisters married him, would it be like Cox Penix, or would they hyphen the name? How does it work?
Yeah, it'd be so-and-so Cox Penix. So that'd be rough. But yeah, so if I have a daughter and she can't marry his son, that would make sense. Hopefully the rules stay like that in the future. My favorite two picks, I've always been a big fan of wide receivers. So I loved the Marvin Harrison Jr. pick. I think it gets Kyler a weapon and somewhat of a do or die year for him, maybe the next couple years. And then my favorite was Xavier Worthy to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh,
because, dude, they won so hard by not keeping Tyreek. Because I was like, man, you let Tyreek Hill go. Since that moment, they've had 2 Super Bowl wins, and they just drafted a guy who's faster than him.
Jeez.
So they won.
Yeah.
And they traded the Bills to move up in the draft. It's like, I feel like they won big on that pick.
If I'm the Bills, I know, like, if they're offering you a good pick and a pick swap and your guy's going to fall, you're like, yeah, sure, more assets. But I'd be like, no, screw you, Kansas City. Anybody else want it? Right. I don't know. Maybe I take things too personal, but I would never trade my rival. Yeah, I would never trade my rival. Even if it made me better, I'd be like, yeah, Minnesota's offering me a worse deal, but I'll take their deal.
They've sent you to Cancun like 3 years in a row.
Or Galveston.
Yeah. Now let me tell you about Galveston.
And dirty air water. Let's see here. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah. What was your number one thing? That was number 2. 3, 2, 1.
No, I went 3, 2, 1. Penix was 3. Xavier Worthy was 2. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. was 1.
Okay. What do you thought about Kool-Aid getting drafted?
Kool-Aid? McKinstry?
Yeah.
I thought he was already in the league.
No, he got drafted this year. I just love his name.
Am I tripping? From Alabama, right?
Yeah. He got drafted this year, right?
For some reason in my mind, I had him in the league already. I think it was this year. Where'd he go?
He went to New Orleans.
No, that is this
round
draft.
2, yeah. Oh yeah.
He went to New Orleans. He went to New Orleans. That's perfect.
That's perfect for him.
I think it's a great home for him. I think it'll be great.
Disappointed to learn that his name is JaQuincy.
His real name is not
Kool-Aid. Yeah. Disappointed.
JaQuincy.
His grandmother called him Kool-Aid at birth because he was born with a big smile and looked just like the Kool-Aid man. Well, grandma ain't wrong.
Question of the day for you.
Yes, sir.
Red or blue?
Oh, red.
Oh, you red, huh? I'm red too.
Yeah. That's not even a hesitation.
Yeah. I had
something about ice cold Kool-Aid in the summer. Of course, my dad was so cheap, he'd buy us Flavor Aid or whatever the off-brand Kool-Aid was. We didn't even get the real one.
No way.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid wasn't that expensive?
We got off-brand ramen, bro. Instead of the 8-cent ramen, we got the 5-cent ramen. It's like, get the great value. It's the same stuff. I'm like,
I didn't know. I think we got that too. Man, I miss ramen. I haven't had some in a while.
Freaking.
History segment.
Yes. I wanted to first talk about. Actually, let's do history, and then we'll do some closing remarks.
Last week in history.
Boy, that's the open for that. We're going to have to pull that for dang sure. All right, last week in history. I don't even remember what happened. Oh, let's start off April 25th. April 25th, 1974, the NFL moves the goalpost to the back of the end zone and adopts sudden death overtime.
Clutch.
So
that was a smart move.
I don't realize it was 1974 that they moved that back.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few videos of that thing right there in the front. I don't know why they ever thought that was a good idea. It's like, dude, you're going to run into it.
So they played like 8 Super Bowls with the freaking goalpost right there.
Yeah.
And they played all the AFL had the goalpost in the front. Like in my mind, it's like from the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, it does seem like leather helmets, goalpost at the front. Everybody's in black and white. Yeah. They didn't even have color back then, like for sure TVs, but I think everything, like life was just black and white mainly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Had to be 100%.
Yeah.
I thought
interesting.
A funny thought process I had was all these great plays in NFL history, but with the goalpost in there. So like you imagine the Seahawks Patriots interception, but there's the goalpost right there. Boom.
The San Francisco 49ers back of the end zone throw.
Oh, the catch.
Got the goalpost. The goalpost is in the clip.
Just dings it off the goalpost. God, he was open.
I will say that probably makes the that Raiders Patriots game that might have worked out better. The snow game, the tuck roll
would have been easier kick. Yeah,
right. Dang, what's another one? Those are all good. Interesting, cool fact.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of overtime, so that's good. On April 26th, 1986, a test triggers a nuclear disaster at Chernobyl. Oops.
Man.
Yeah, they were running some kind of test where they is a poorly designed experiment, and they disconnected one of the reactor's emergency safe systems, and they then they made a bunch of mistakes. Then they ran a reactor, then they attempted to they removed too many of the reactor rods and then put them all back in at the same time, and just like everything they did wrong, and it went kaboom.
Was this before or after Oppenheimer?
This was after 86. Okay, Oppenheimer was after. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of nuclear energy. Every nuclear energy disaster is due to severe human error like this. So, whoops.
Yeah.
Don't trust the Soviets.
For sure.
On this day, April 27th, 4977 BC, the universe was created. So that was cool.
How'd you get that date?
That was actually according to mathematician and astronomer Johannes Kepler in 1571.
What was the year?
He mathematically, he was working on astronomy, and he had some issues. Like, he's one of the fathers of modern science, but he's working on astronomy and trying to figure out. And he mathematically decided that the universe was created on April 27th, 4,977 BC.
Okay.
Yeah. So
would that fall under the young Earth category?
Yes.
Or
yes.
would that? Okay.
Basically 5 to 10,000 years. I'm actually
Are you young Earther?
I am, and with a slight caveat of I call it mature Earth, in the sense of like when God created Adam and Eve, he created them as adults. When God created chickens, they were mature. Like if Adam died the day after God created him and they dug him up, they'd say this man died when he was 37 years old.
Right.
So I think he created the Earth as a complete thing that's already mature rather than as a nucleus of nothing. That is my opinion. And it grows. I have no proof
that's where
of
you
it.
lie.
That's what I believe. Yes.
I haven't thought about that in a while. I would probably fall into the old Earther category, which is I thought it was 10,000 years used to be the line or something like that.
It keeps getting moved back.
Okay.
Because they keep on discovering new stuff, and then we're like, oh, that doesn't work. So yeah, it used to be 10,000 years, and then it's 50 million years, and then it's 1 billion years, and now they keep on moving it back. So now it's 13.7 billion years.
That is, when I think about that, if the Earth were to be that old, that's terrifying. Because that means that there most likely there would be human life form that old. And if we've been around that long and we still don't know what the hell's going on,
I still can't figure out the cover 3.
Yeah, I'm like, gosh, is it the safe? Was he up, or is it 6 yards off the ball, 1 yard outside of the receiver? That was lining up cover 3 at corner. So,
good to know. I learned something new today.
6 yards off, 1 yard
back
to the outside. Yeah, 6-1.
There's 2 notes on April 28th in 1887, 100 years apart, by the way. Europeans' first motorized race is won by Marquis de Dion on a steam-powered quadricycle built by French toymaker and engineer Jorge Bouton. I assume I'm saying that right. It's got a little asterisk by it because he was the only contestant.
Quadricycle, that sounds like a four-wheeler.
Basically a car, yeah. They had a steam-powered four-wheeler, more or less. So they had the first motorized race, but they only had one contestant. So he's like, I'm the champ. And it's like, but you didn't beat anybody. He's like, screw you, first place. Number 1.
It's like you were racing your little brother who's 5.
Yeah, and he's in a wheelchair, but I still kicked his butt.
Hey, a dub's a dub, brother. Especially over there. In Europe, they're tough.
They are tough.
You got to win to win.
Mm-hmm. And then in 1987, the NBA announced on April 28th that expansion teams for Charlotte, Miami would come into play in 1988, and in 1989, Minnesota and Orlando. So you had the Hornets, the Heat, the T-Wolves, and the Magic all coming into that 2-year span. Obviously, the Heat got tier 1 there. I would say Magic tier 2, T-Wolves, Hornets tier 3, and then the Hornets. They're like, I don't know if you can see them. They're way down.
Hornets are so far down on my list.
Gotta look. They're like a team I forget about. Are they still the most?
Oh my gosh. That's the one team in the league that drives me nuts. I'm like, I just don't like them at all. And they have such great color. Like they're the blue and white.
Yeah.
The best thing that happened in Charlotte was Cam Newton. And I'm standing on that.
Yeah, their team, there's a funny thing on NHL Reddit of like, what team do you forget about? Like, there's a team in Columbus. They're like, I forgot this team existed. And so, yeah, they're like, the Charlotte Hornets are a team that I forget exists until the Mavericks play them. They're like, the Mavs playing Charlotte tonight, and Lonzo Ball or whoever's on the Hornets,
Lonzo's got a triple-double, and one of the Bridge brothers.
Yeah. Mikal, Malik, Malika.
Now, let me tell you, Miami. Malika.
But yeah, tier 1, Heat by far. Tier 2, Magic. They've been to a finals. Tier 3, Minnesota. And then all the way down in China, tier 4.
I got a soft spot for the Magic now.
I want them to win.
I did a deep dive on them a while back, and like the whole history of like, I feel like they've always just been right there, like with Shaq, with Dwight Howard, with Aaron Gordon, kind of, not really, but you know,
they're competitive.
I feel like they're owed one. They're due one. They're due at least in the next 5 years.
Hey, they might. Well, they're probably not going to win this year. Who are they playing? Who are they going to? Well, because they'll play the Bucks next round. So, no, why did I say Bucks? I meant Celtics. They'll play the Celtics next round. Oof. So they'll be toast.
Maybe.
All right. And our weekly Hitler note. On this day, on April 28th, Hitler marries longtime girlfriend Eva Braun. And one day later decides he's had enough of her and ends it.
A one-day marriage.
He's like, you know what? God, the spark's gone. I'll see you.
Did he have to? Man, that was quick.
I know she was probably nagged him really hard for that day, and he's like, you know what? The Allies won.
Love hurts.
I'm out of here. I'm done. Freaking done.
You know, I applaud him for he tried. You know,
their marriage counseling one day in, and she's just
I just like how you said
he leaves the seat up every time in the bunker. He leaves it up, and he doesn't clean up after himself. He thinks he's like the king of the Reich over here.
Our weekly Hitler moment.
Hashtag weekly Hitler.
Hashtag.
That's all I got for this week in history.
I don't know if I can redo the one I did earlier. I'm gonna have to cut that out and immediate. Yeah, that was pretty good, huh? What closing remarks?
Oh, I had a fun note. My grandmother was born in Aachen, Germany, and their soccer team went bankrupt a few years ago, went all the way from the top division all the way down to the 4th division, which is horrible because you can't really, hard to move up from the 4th division. In the other division, the top 2 or 3 teams move up. In the 4th division, you have to win it to move up. There's 20 teams trying to win it, so you got to win the whole thing. And they won the whole thing last week, so they're moving up. Yeah.
Here we go.
So Alemannia. Here we go. Alemannia Aachen moving up.
Here we go. Did you see Lively? He did that game 3.
Oh, did he?
He made a dunk and he looked over at the team and he went, "Here we go," like in the Dak like tone. I was like, that was awesome. Like the camera saw it, the camera showed it, but like the commentators didn't say anything about it. I was like, okay, that was pretty good. I bet they do that all the time. Like, mess around.
You got to have fun.
Yeah. Rep D-Town, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Closing remarks for me. I've been playing more golf recently. I've been playing about 9 twice a week.
Let's go.
But I cannot hit a driver anymore. Oh, no. I no longer can hit a driver. I'm flushing my irons. I cannot get off. I cannot hit a driver anymore.
What about hybrids?
The hybrid's not working either.
Oh, no.
The other day, I went and I was like, all right, I played a full 9, just teeing off with my 3-iron.
How'd it go?
And it was great. I think I had a 40-something. 43, something like that.
Wow. That's a good round.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty solid. But how's your hand, dude? Is it better?
It's a miracle. Modern science. No, I go to so I go to the doctor to catch everyone up. I heard it like a month and a half, probably almost 2 months ago at this point. Hurting, went to the touch, but not horrible. I played golf. And I was like, it stings a little bit every once in a while, but it's fine. So then I move a bunch of dirt in a wheelbarrow on a Saturday, and it's just killing me on Sunday, like bad. So I go to the doctor. Doctor does an x-ray. He's like, we can't really see anything, but I'm certain it's broken. You need to wear a brace. That'll be $250. Like, okay. You need to see it, and you need to be a specialist because you might need surgery. Okay. Sucks. Go to specialist a week later. And this is my background in coffee and machinery. It's got a new office smell to it. Like everything's like too clean and it's new. And like the nurse who's trying to do this thing's like, I think I need to turn this knob. And I'm like, I think you need to turn the other because you're trying to pull it down. Right? It looks like it's connected there. And so like it's a machine where hot, cold. So like up, down, turn sideways. There's a lot of levers and things. And I'm like, I think you need now lock it in. Okay, good. They're like,
get that yardstick.
I've had it. My son was painting, drawing on it.
Got it.
It was by my feet. I don't know, man.
Nice.
There's a lot of stuff in this garage. But yeah, so then another appointment, another couple hours, and the doctor, after I finally like got the thing just right, they're like, yeah, it's not broken, and you shouldn't be wearing a brace. That's probably making it worse. I'm like, how did y'all both go to medical school? Like, I need a GPA on that dang diploma, or like what you specialized in, or something. Because like one like it's absolutely broken. You need to brace this right away, and the guy's like, it's not broken. And I still have to pay
it was
both
just like a minor, probably a little fracture in there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like the more I stretch it,
to see on the side of there. You know?
So it's not a bad break. He said he could do a CAT scan next time if it's still throbbing real bad. I've been stretching it. Meow.
Why'd that get you? That's what you do. You just stick your hand through there. I had a CAT scan recently. I went and got a heart scan.
What been happening?
Say it again. Oh, better. Now I'm better. Gosh.
What'd you get a heart scan for?
I've just started doing it just to be healthy. I got heart issues in my family, so I'm like, I better start now.
Probably a better idea.
And it came back. Everything was good. It's good.
Glad it's good. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. Love you.
Shut the front door.